Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA, and today I am craving fish and chips, a nice British fish and chips, and I am at the best place for it in this whole area, in New York for sure, probably in the whole New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, and I would even argue one of the best fish and chips you can get on this side of the pond in general. Assault and Battery. Nice pun name. I love when restaurants have clever names like that. Now, Assault and Battery is kind of on like a street here in New York that, I don't know, it's kind of like a English-British block. Like there's a lot of British stores here that sell a lot of imported British stuff, Not just little trinkets like little Big Ben magnets and stuff, but, all sorts of random British stuff. And this whole area just kind of has like a British-English feel in general. Now, one thing that I really like about New York City is that on this channel we've eaten lots of things that New York is specifically known for. Like, I don't know, if New York food is a thing, I guess, we've eaten New York foods, you might say. Pastrami sandwiches, bagels, pizza, amazing and historical steakhouses. But one of my favorite things about New York is its diversity, and just, you can pretty much get most things you want here in terms of diverse and international cuisine. Now, everyone knows all about great ethnic cuisines like great Chinese food and sushi and Indian food and whatnot. Let me tell you, I personally love British food, and one thing that I like about New York is that there's a little British block here, which is great. I meant what I said. I love British food. I don't really understand why British food has such a bad reputation. I lived in the UK for about a month or two at one point, and yeah, there were foods from back home that I missed, but I generally thought that the things I ate there were pretty good. Maybe what it is that people just aren't eating legit, authentic British food. So I really want fish and chips today. We're gonna be eating the best fish and chips around, a place that makes a fish and chips as good as across the pond in jolly old England. So let's just warp from New York to York, I guess. Old York. So come on, let's check it out. Hey guys, now before we continue with the rest of the video, I just really want to thank the sponsor of this video, the Upside app. Things are not quite as affordable as they once were with inflation and things like that, but when life gives you lemons, look on the upside, and in this case, the Upside app. Now, what's great about the Upside app is that the Upside app kind of helps you offset some of these higher costs by helping you earn more money. With the Upside app, similar to a credit card with rewards like cashback rewards, Upside partners with lots of places like restaurants and gas stations, but unlike said credit card cashback promotions, the Upside app will earn you 3 times more on average. You can cash out anytime you want with a bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon or some other service. On top of that, unlike other cashback apps, Upside never sells your personal information. They know that your information is a vital part of their relationship with you, so your personal data and information will never see a third party. The app has a 3.8 rating in the App Store, probably because frequent Upside users save an average of $340 a year. Upside has helped me earn more money through cashback percentages. I find that especially their gas station rewards, their gas station cashback percentages are particularly generous. So download the free Upside app and get an additional 10% cash back with my promo code UAEATS on your next grocery store or restaurant purchase. And now, back to our video. Okay guys, so we are inside Assault and Battery. Now, in my reviews, oftentimes they're first time try it kind of reviews, but I will admit, I have been to this place many times and it's my go-to for fish and chips. Sometimes I even come from New Jersey just to eat here when I'm really, really craving a legit fish and chips. Now, I lived in the UK for 1 to 2 months, not a super long period of time, but long enough to kind of get my bearings a little bit, and I've never really found places that really approached fish and chips in the UK. Even like just some random pub or like a small stand would just blow any other fish and chips place in the US out of the water, even if it's like a famous, well-regarded restaurant. But this place is the one place that does it proud. Okay, we're here inside Assault and Battery. It's a very small shop. you know, just a simple fish and chip shop like a UK takeaway shop. It's a pretty simple restaurant, so there's an open kitchen and you can see all the magic happening. Now, of course, we're still in the US, we're not in the UK, so there's an overload of British stuff, of course, you know, for the locals and the tourists. But to be honest, most of the regulars here are British people. Now, they have some interesting items here. They have homemade mincemeat pies, and they have a lunch special, but the lunch special is haddock. I'm more of a cod guy when it comes to fish and chips, so we're just gonna order off of the regular menu. And prices, you know, not great, not bad, but definitely could be worse in New York. Now, we're gonna, of course, go with a cod and chips, but I did want to show you that they have some interesting items. They have a chip buddy, which is basically a French fry sandwich, and they have mushy peas. Now, don't knock mushy peas. I love mushy peas. It's a great side, despite its unappetizing name. So let's go ahead and order. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Plenty more tomato sauce if you like.
Thank you so much. Well, fresh out of the fryer. So we ordered a few things. We of course got a fish and chips, and we opted for cod instead of haddock. You can really do both, but I really prefer cod. You know, I kind of like the texture of it. I like the way that it flakes. He gave us some tartar sauce, and you know, I gotta do mushy peas, you know, when in Rome, or in this case, when in the UK, not in New York, when in York, you might say. Mushy peas sounds and may not look appetizing, but trust me, it is an underrated gem of a side. And does that not look just so much better than any fish and chips you've had outside of the UK, of course? Now, in my quest for a legit fish and chips, I even ate at Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips in Times Square, and it was good, definitely better than any fish and chips in the US. But this, oh man, it doesn't hold a candle to this place of Salt and Battery. And real British chips, oh, sorry for the flickering, there's like Christmas lights still flickering, so that's why like my video is flickering a bit. People often think that fries are interchangeable with chips, but no, a British chip, you know, it is a French fry, but it's like a different thing. They're thicker, they're more fluffy on the inside. Chips are often thicker cut, and they're often boiled before they're fried, so that the outside is crispy, and the thick inside is nice and soft and fluffy. Any fried food doesn't really last, so let's dig right in. Just take a look at that fish on the inside of that batter. I mean, some of it fell out over there, but just look at the beautiful way that it just flakes like that. Perfectly done. First bite without any salt or vinegar yet. Oh. 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 You know, I didn't add salt and vinegar yet, but it kind of doesn't need it. The batter alone is great enough as is. This batter here, oh man, it's like, I'm gonna try to explain the texture. It's not really like, you know, your typical American deep fried food, like the dark, like breadcrumb batter. This batter, it's almost more like tempura batter, you know, which makes sense. Because one thing that's great about tempura is that unlike other fried foods like fried chicken or things like that, you know, fried chicken doesn't really last, we all know, in to-go containers. But tempura definitely has a longer shelf life than most fried foods. Like, it doesn't quite go as soggy as quickly. Now, fish and chips often is kind of like more of a takeout food in the UK, or, you know, as they say, a takeaway. So it kind of makes sense then that they kind of also follow that tempura technique. So it doesn't get soggy at high temperature. Get it? Sorry. I just want to show you again though. I mean, let's take a look at this bigger piece. Just look at the way this like flakes. Just look at me squeeze it out a little. Look at the way it flakes like that. I mean, that's when you know you got a perfectly deep fried cod and chips. Not like the American fish and chips where the whole thing is like fried and fried dry, basically like one huge fish stick. No guys, a real fish and chips, this is the way it's gotta be. Perfect batter. Batter has gotta have a great flavor on its own as well. I can't really detect exactly what is making this batter taste good. Maybe like buttermilk or something? Like, it almost has like a bit of a pancake-like flavor to it. But no matter, all I know is that it tastes good, and it's crisp but not too crunchy, and moist but perfectly cooked and not dried out cod on the inside. One more piece without salt and vinegar. Yeah. Outstanding. But of course, gotta go with salt and vinegar, unless you're watching your sodium levels, which I am not, yet. So some salt, and some vinegar to taste. Now we got some vinegary batter, which should elevate this flavor profile. Oh, just look at how freshly it's been fried. It's emanating steam still. And we have a piece of fry stuck in between too. Like I said earlier, it's good enough on its own, so if you don't want to add salt and vinegar, you don't have to. But the crispiness from the batter recipe, like that, I don't know, it kind of tastes like a pancakey, like buttermilk flavor, like a waffle flavor almost. It's just great. And then when you add some salt and some acidity from the vinegar, it just like completes it, you know? Like everything balances out and it's excellent, unless you don't like salt and vinegar. By the way, fun fact, did you guys know that salt and vinegar potato chips are fish and chips flavored? A lot of people don't know that because salt and vinegar chips are such a staple of like, you know, American Lay's and potato chips in general. But apparently in the 20th century, at one point, fish and chips was a really trendy food. So salt and vinegar chips are supposed to be fish and chips flavored. Interesting, right? Look at this huge bite. Outstanding. If you guys are commutable to New York, you're not gonna find a better fish and chip shop, maybe anywhere else on the East Coast. I mean, every time I come here, I feel like I'm like the only person not from the UK in this shop, and they seem like regulars. Let me just mention one thing real quick. Remember what I said earlier about how chips and fries are not interchangeable? Chips, as you can see, I mean, this is even a small one, but chips, as you can see, are thicker. They're not like thin, like shoestring fries that we're accustomed to in the US, and you'll break them open. Okay, these look like less fluffy ones than I'm accustomed to. I mean, oftentimes British chips will be fluffy on the inside and crispy on the outside. So I will admit, these are not quite as fluffy and soft as I was expecting. Let's see how they taste. Okay, so they still taste good. They're actually fluffier than they look on the inside. I don't know if it's like the lighting or something. Maybe it's just the way that it looks in the moment. But like a solid chip, like a chunky chip, will be fluffy, like almost like a potato cloud on the inside, and thick cut and crispy on the outside. So I wasn't able to show you a perfect example, but still decent. But, you know, we can't leave until we try the mushy peas, one of my favorite sides. And this here is a mushy peas. Now, you know, it looks like what it is, mushed up peas. And the name might not sound, you know, super appetizing. Mushy peas, you know, it doesn't sound and it doesn't look appetizing. Like if some people do not like British cuisine, they use mushy peas as an example of what they don't like about it. But don't knock it till you try it. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. It's basically mashed potatoes, but with peas instead of potatoes. And you know, mashed potatoes could be gross if you present them a certain way, right? Like, oh, you know, you just take some starch and boil it and mush it up and eat that mealy, chalky substance. Same with mushy peas, you know? If you give it an off-putting name and present it in a bad way, it's not gonna sound good. But you know, you mush up these peas, you add some butter, you add some other seasonings, and you got a great side. Healthier than mashed potatoes, too. Let's get another bite of these mushed up peas. Like I said, I know they might not look particularly appetizing, like almost like baby food, but I love mushy peas. And whenever I see it on the menu at like a British restaurant or pub in the US, I always give it a whirl, although they don't often sell it. Like I said earlier, The world is your oyster with mushy peas. Basically like mashed potatoes, but with peas. This mushy peas, you really taste some great buttery flavor. Like they added some butter, perhaps some cream or something. Really smooth and buttery, and probably healthier than mashed potatoes. Maybe if they plate this better, maybe it will have a better reputation. Oh no. Do you want to say hi for the channel? Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. Where are you guys from? Are you visiting? Or are you from New York?
Where are you from? I'm from Ireland.
Ireland. Just here for New Year's? Just here for New Year's?
No, how long, mommy?
3 years now.
3 years.
3 years. Do you guys eat here a lot? Assault and battery? You like it?
Being a YouTuber.
Do you like mushy peas? No. I guess it's just me who likes them. Awesome. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. All right, we're gonna finish this and then we're gonna share thoughts outside. The place is getting a little crowded. All right, guys, I just finished eating at Assault and Battery, my fried cod and chips, and I just wanted to show you guys my favorite fish and chips joint. Just absolutely delicious, comparable to fish and chips places that I ate at in the UK. I love fish and chips. I think it's a really underrated dish, and a dream for my channel is to someday do a trip to the UK just for this channel, just to show you all the great eats in the UK. In the US, people tend to, really make fun of British food. They say like, oh, it's bland and it's not that good, but I never really understood that. When I was in the UK, I loved the things that I ate. Who doesn't like fish and chips and shepherd's pie and meat pies, meat pasties and things like that? I feel like the stereotype that British food is not good probably came mostly from World War II rationing, but I don't think it's a true stereotype. I mean, just read all the Tolkien novels. Read like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Like a fourth of the book is, talking about food and the joy of eating. So there's a strong food culture in the UK for sure. In general, no culture or country in the world is gonna have bad food. I mean, we all have our preferences for what flavor profiles we like, but the love of food and the joy of eating and the community that it brings and the healing power of food, both physically and mentally, is a universal part of the human experience, and I truly believe that. It has no borders or boundaries. But anyways, guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you liked me taking you to one of my favorite joints to eat at. Have you been to Assault and Battery? Have you had fish and chips in the UK? And what's your favorite fish and chips shop? Let me know in the comments because great minds eat alike. If you like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. Until next time, I'll see you later.